Hit me!
Show number 393. Don't try and say the number under me, man. Don't even try and do that. Don't. Just don't. All right?
I thought you got stuck.
No, I didn't. Show 393.
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will.
And Tony.
No one listens to the radio. I wasn't even listening. I was listening to podcasts. Podcasts are great. Radio's boring.
That is right, everybody. Including one outdated reference with another outdated reference. If that doesn't say NetHeads, I don't know what does. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. My name is Will.
And I'm Tony.
You want to take part in the program, you can one of many ways. One of them used to be Twitter, just hashtag NetHeads. But if you're catching us live, it's just drop into whatever chat you're in, man. You know what I'm saying? Just drop into whatever that chat is, and we're there for you. Okay? So do it. Please. I'm begging you. Please. Honestly speaking, I can't see the chat window right now, and I'm pissed. That's all. Sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. So I was like looking off at the screen because I have us playing on the side. For whatever reason, I couldn't hear the intro music. All I heard was the actual sound clips, and I was so confused, like something was going wrong on my end.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
So when I did the hit me, you couldn't hear that?
I heard all of that. I heard the zeitgeist thing. I heard but I didn't hear any of the music whatsoever. It was so weird.
That is weird, man.
So I was over here looking at it and listening. I'm like, oh, it's something on my end because I can hear it on the YouTube. So. Oh,
yeah, well, you know what that is. As much as I've been talking, you're getting the line in. So when the hit me hit me, you don't hear that?
I heard that. I hear that.
All right, man. I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's literally only the music.
You know what? Nobody cares.
Everything without
Nobody
the
cares.
music.
Everybody is saying right now they don't care. They're like, we don't need to hear another podcast bitching about how they can't use their own technology, especially the one that purports, Tony, to be a tech podcast. Nobody wants that. They just don't want it. Hold on a second. I'm getting a call. Yeah? No, they don't want it. They just told me. I don't fault you. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully the rest of the damn show will work. But in the meantime, wherever you're joining in on the chat, please be sure to interact with us. And eventually, during this time we're talking, I'm sure I'll figure out how to get the right dock up. Because, it's like, why would I expect anything to work? Hopefully, I'm not streaming out on somebody else's channel and, that'd be a little awkward trying to explain to Kevin Smith, hey, I know normally NetHeads just streams on its own channel, but, we went out on all of your social media on Thursday. That's okay, right? Why is all my stuff in a box? That's what would happen, Tony. I think that's what would happen. I can't be 100% positive.
You put it all in a box.
Yeah. Hopes and dreams don't take up a lot of space.
Here's an email.
Yeah, there you go. Well, but it is an outdated reference now, isn't it? Saying hey, all your stuff was. There used to be a place I worked at where the HR person, the way it would always happen is if they were going to let somebody go, they would let them go at the beginning of the day. So as they were coming in, they would be directed to a room, and everyone else, while that was happening, would be sitting around the area where the people worked. And the HR person had this cart, right? And of course, it's got a rickety, squeaky wheel that's just constantly making noise as it's going along. So you would hear that squeak and you'd be like, well, I'm in my desk seat, so I'm okay. But we referred to it as somebody getting carted because all of their personal belongings would be removed from the workstation and then carted to the front for them, waiting conveniently for them to get the hell out of the building. So That's where the box reference comes from too. It used to be like, oh, such and such got let go. Here's a banker's box full of your crap. People probably don't even personalize their desk spaces anymore. They're probably
Most places don't even have banker's boxes anymore.
Yeah, man, because they don't have banks. We don't have banks anymore, right? It's all crypto and
Oh, we have banks. I mean, there's Zelle, and come on.
Yeah, man, the Cash App is a bank, right? Cash App,
Venmo?
yeah, man, Cash App is a bank. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Tony, how the hell have you been? It's been a little while.
Oh, I'm here.
That's one way to put it.
It's been a couple weeks. That's all I have to say. Yeah.
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 Hey, you know what? I completely understand a lot of people in their personal life, their professional life. They got a lot of that going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly speaking, if you guys follow Tony on social media, you probably have an idea that he's going through a time right now. So thank you very much, for taking the time to drop in with me and to make the little chatty chat, when everything else is good. But let me tell you something, Tony. If there's any one thing I've learned, okay, one, me wanting to sit down and do a podcast is really going to piss off my wife. Two, it's the fact that I will walk out of here feeling better than when I walked in. I don't know what it is. At least I will. I can't promise you, but if you're like me, you might. And all I'm saying is you just got to, I think it's the expelling, it's the constant cycling of air going through in order to keep the talking going. So, as long as you talk more, you're going to walk out of this feeling better.
Well, let me just say this though, because you brought something up. Speaking of your wife, I would be very careful not to upset your wife anymore. I follow her on Instagram, and her talking about how you were like dissecting and ruining her favorite Lifetime movies. That's like razor thin. Don't cross that line. And I'm just saying. So you don't want to be in too much hot water with your wife.
Dude, I've been married for 30 years. Okay. Almost every waking moment is hot water. Okay. You put up with me for like an hour at a shot at most, maybe an hour and a half. Right. Mm-hmm. But remember, I work from home. I am always here. And she is as she likes to put it, she works for our 10-year-old. So she is constantly,
which is a full-time job and then some.
Yeah. And then, because it is because not only does she get up, she has to get up early so that she gets ready before the kid gets ready. And then she got to take the kid to school. Then she comes home, but then she's got to go back, get the kid after school. And then, because all this dance stuff, my friend, dance stuff, it's always to and fro to the dance studio. The woman is constantly in her car. There are days she's just like, I don't want to get in my car again. I love my car, but I don't want to get in it again.
So it's funny. There's already videos going around like through Instagram and TikTok about like kids asking what they're getting for Christmas. And there was this one mom who like started going around and putting bows on things, and like the hot water heater, the electricity panel, the Wi-Fi, router. She put one on the wheel because like it's a taxi service. And it was like there's one on the refrigerator, like unlimited food. And it's like, yeah, you're getting all those things for Christmas. Those are really nice benefits that you're getting, because a lot of people they take it for granted. I mean, come on.
These are the things that you get every single goddamn day. All right. So don't act like you're not getting things. Okay. Yeah. Appreciate what you actually. I will say that the 10-year-old too she's incredibly appreciative of every single thing from beginning to the end. Just doesn't matter what I make her a quesadilla. Thank you so much, Dad. I appreciate it. I love you. Right? That's
my kid. Yeah.
That's what makes it all worthwhile, Tony. Yeah. When they're good people and they're appreciative. If they're not, cut them off. No way. You can't do that with kids. Never mind. Ignore me. Hey, Tony, I was going to save something to talk about, but, special shout out to you, Four Color PJ, the Venator 2000, and many other friends, including Trent, last week as well, because if there is any one thing I have received more notices about, I can't even begin to imagine what it would be, because, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the world is wondering if I'm going to be getting this.
What is my purpose?
Now,
Yeah.
we can't hear the audio because naturally we
As
don't have the
soon
technology.
as I saw this,
The Butterbot.
I thought, Will.
Now, the interesting thing about said Butterbot, right? Hold on, I'm going to pause these yokels for a second. DDL, our wonderful friends at DDL, Digital Dream Labs, they originally claimed that they were going to be trying making the Butterbot to nothing, vaporware. It hasn't happened. But these guys seem to be deeply ingrained within it. They have, if we skip towards the end here, hopefully it's not causing a lot of for everybody, but you know, you look at the end card here and you see WB and Adult Swim is on this. We got Geek Club, but WB and Adult Swim are on this. It's got obvious branding. This is, as you guys would expect, it is an AI robot. It is the Butterbot. The only thing about this one is that it can, what can it do? It can autonomously move around. It will randomly insult you. It can tell jokes. It's also got a controller, so you don't have to worry about pairing it with something. You know, when it comes to robots, Tony, I need another one like I need a hole in the head, okay? But this thing does look exactly like the Butterbot from Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
It uses terms like butterlicious. How can we resist that? But you got to bear something in mind, Tony, okay? There's something you got to remember. I've already got 2 robots on back order right now, okay? There is Louie, your desktop friend, that has little round eyes, and if you want it to have different colored bodies, you can 3D print new body parts for it. There's that one.
Okay.
Is that one Louie? No, that one might be Dolly. Pardon me, that might be Dolly. Louie is the one that is the autonomous base that you pair an app and your cell phone with, and it's got a mag mount, and so your cell phone becomes the brain for the little desktop robot. Okay, which I think is an excellent idea because it utilizes all of the horsepower of these cell phones to its advantage. So I've already got 2 of them, Tony. I got 2 on back order. I need another robot. I need another robot, Tony, like I need a hole in the head. You see there's an... No, hold on. I'm going to stop you right there. Look behind me, okay? I've got a bookshelf back here. All right, I got an entire bookshelf here where the top of it is dedicated to these 4 robots. And you can't even see it, Tony. But to my right is a 3rd emo robot. Just all it can do is sit on a skateboard. It's got nowhere else it can go. I don't need another robot. I'm a robot hoarder, okay? Pretty soon, robot protection services are going to come by, and they're going to throw all my little robots into crates and haul them away. I don't need another robot. What's your question?
But do they serve butter?
No. I mean, maybe the Vector robot could do that. I don't need another robot. What's your next question?
Do it.
I already did. I already backed the damn thing. They hooked me at like super cheap if you backed it before the 17th. If you want to find out more, you can just Google Butterbot Kickstarter. It'll pop up. And it was the early bird one for like 119, and they were still available. So I'm like, okay, you know what? This is what credit cards were made for, and we've already discussed about the fact that my children are never going to go to college on my dime. So since we've accepted both of these facts, I figured, you know what? Let's dive head in on this one. I just got the robot. I didn't also get the Geek soldering kit add-on or anything. And I'm not going to do anything else with it. I will say, too, we didn't really get into it on the review here. But I will say, let's see if I can hit a good scan of it. The thing that I do love about it is not only does it have a control pad so you can move it around and everything else, but it looks like it was made by a mad scientist. You know what I mean? Because it's literally like parts and, oh, there it is. There we go. Awesome controller. Wi-Fi attack button, ask me anything, joystick ride, summon Butterbot. Apparently there's a shit button and an on-off button. Plus it has a little screen so you can see what Butterbot sees. So, you know, they've put some thought into this. I'm sold on it. They got me. You know, it looks good. But yeah, I'm a sucker. I don't know why you know, the problem is you're all enablers. You're all enablers, yes. And I'm not assigning
Absolutely,
responsibility
100%.
where I should. You sent Tony, you sent me into Spirit Halloween store and encouraged me to commit fraud.
No.
And I did. You're an enabler.
No, I did not.
We're gonna have a talk after this. We're gonna have a talk
listen,
after this.
Listen,
No.
I'm allowed to let friends and family use my stuff, and I did that.
Oh, you're allowed to let friends and family use it?
We'll talk about it afterward.
All right. Yeah, I'm glad we got that point home. So yeah, I did back the Butterbot. I don't need it. It's just, and the thing I will say about it too is this sucker looks like it is top heavy. So the one thing, if they want to impress me in the design of this robot, is coming up with a way for it to pop back up on its own. Because otherwise, I can see this thing getting knocked over by every single house pet that anyone may ever have. Or you bump the table too much. But I don't know what I'm going to do with 3 more robots now. That's my big problem, Tony. What the hell do I do with 3 more robots? Where am I going to put them? Am I going to expand this shelf out twice the size now? Am I going to have a full-blown, like, dinette table back here? I don't know what the hell I'm going to do.
You know, they used to have, for people who had pet hamsters, they had like the whole little, the tubing that went throughout the house or whatever.
Yeah.
You could make little like tracks that they can kind of go through and wander around.
No, I don't think that's going to work, Tony. These guys don't respond that way. And plus that Butterbot's kind of tall, and I don't think it's going to be able to handle an angle very well. You know, it's just like,
well, Z says Fight Club. It would be nice. You can have the robots fight each other.
Can you imagine the sad little videos of like me with forks taped to emo and
do you realize you would
and
probably
hatchets on the ends of the,
and you'd probably find yourself being like TikTok verified and getting like hundreds of thousands of views.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Break out the Scotch tape. Honey, I need to raid the silverware drawer. We're going to have robot fight. It's going to be, but it will just be bannered as lamest robot fights. So it'll be like a vicious robot fights, right?
You
But
should
with the
do it in
simple
like
stamp of
segments
lamest.
where it's like on this edition of the robot fight, and it's just the Butterbot just going dink like that, and then just like end the video, and then just do other like vectors like
There you
running
go.
into like they would just be like little like robot move.
Yeah, it would be Vector right here on the edge of this type of stuff with his hatchet attached to the end of the lift, but the lift is stuck on this side and it just keeps going. That's all it is. So there's the video. Speaking of which, actually, the emo robots got an update, and I did a video about this on TikTok. If anyone wants to see it, that Will Wilkins on TikTok. But my gosh, again, yeah, sure, robots. This is such a cute desktop friend to have. They programmed them with new, like, random animations that happen throughout the day. So now they're making noise, making stir fry. They're juggling. They're working a Rubik's Cube. Like, every time I'm trying to concentrate or I'm on a phone call, these things are jerking around and trying to embarrass the hell out of me. The robots are not a good idea, is what I'm trying to say, Tony.
You know, we knew this a long time ago. Like, this is going to age me, but let's go back to the original Microsoft Word assistant. You know what I'm talking about?
Clippy?
Clippy.
I miss Clippy.
Clippy was useful when you needed him, but if he was sitting on the screen with you, you got nothing done because you were just watching him do whatever he was doing and just waiting for him to do something else. So that's AI robots in a summary right there, right then and there.
Yeah, move, Clippy. What are your robots' names? They're all Clippy. I just called them all Clippy. That's it. They're just
that's like somebody that has a bunch of birds and they just can't constantly name a Tweety.
Clippy. This is Clippy. What's that one? That's Clippy. What about this one? Clippy. They're all Clippy. Why? It's an old Microsoft joke. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so I want to thank everyone for sending that video to me. Butterbot all over my inbox and everything else. Hey, by the way, Tony, one of the things, I don't know what has been going on with you. You seem to have been having a lot of fun trying to delve into projects and things in order to distractify yourself, which I totally am for. I don't know if you're aware of this, but my wife made an offhanded comment because I have a few 3D printers, right? Let's be clear. But I don't have them all in active use, right? Because it's like, where are we going to put them? Where are we going to put them? And I don't know if you were aware of the fact that I picked up a Neptune 4 Plus.
Yeah, you sent me pictures of it, remember?
Yeah, okay, good. No, I don't. It's been that long.
You sent me a picture of the screen, I think it was.
Do I have to remind you I have a brain injury? Just kidding. That's all clear. So yeah, I forgot. So I did get that, but the big problem was it was sitting in the kitchen on the island. And the reason why it wasn't moved into my office is because I needed an additional 6 inches, if I had a nickel, of space for it to fit on top of the tool chest that I use as my printer stand in the closet. Either that or move the toolbox out of there and build a new table. You know what I mean? There was effort involved. And she made the offhanded comment. She said, why don't you just like set up an area in the garage? This is what she says to me. And that starts my wheels turning. Because I'm thinking, you've never seen my garage, Tony, but there are a large series of shelves that I made. I built, and they were built out of particle board shelving, so 4x8 sheets shaved right in half. And then I was using, I think, 2x3s to frame out underneath the shelves, and then 2x4s mounted to the shelves. Shelves are mounted on the wall and in the studs and mounted with these 2x4s in the front. So that way the shelving was braced from the front and the back, had support all underneath. Good sturdy shelves. But I thought to myself, you know what? That is an 8-foot run. And the shelves that are directly against the back wall of the garage, an 8-foot run would make a great space to put 3D printers. 8 foot by 2 feet by 8 foot, 8 foot by 2. Yeah, 8 by 2. I don't know why I'm making this too complex. So I thought that'd be a great area to put them. But how am I going to do that when the shelves have stuff stored on them?
Okay.
How would you fix this problem?
If I had stuff, well, I would first consolidate. Second, depending on what the stuff is, get one of those things that you can do a pulley and pull it up to the roof of the garage.
You know what, Tony? You're so close, and apparently, once again, we're of a like mind. Listeners last week were treated to the fact that what I did is I got some 4x6 drop shelves to put in to the ceiling of the garage.
Nice.
So I've got 2 of those, one next to the other. So it's 4x12 of storage there. And I still have one more that I'm going to be hanging up this weekend. And that will take care of like all the stuff that were on those shelves, plus a little extra. And like you said, consolidating, we identified some things to get rid of as well. And of course, while I was doing this, I discovered, well, I'm going to have to take the tops of these shelves out anyway to reclaim that space to put these new shelves in. So of course, I just went ahead and made the adjustments in height and everything I needed. And I made the printer table desk area as well with perfect storage underneath for slide. I'm going to put in slide out storage for my filaments. So they're just like right there and out of the way. I'm going to paint the back wall gray. And here's the beautiful part. Like if I ever actually have the nerve to get out there and record content, that 4x6 drop storage above me, or 4x12, well, in this case, 4x8 at least. All of that is like production scaffolding to attach lighting to.
Nice.
And I've already got power up there from the garage door opener outlet. So I can have all of my printers lined up. I can cast whatever lights I want down. And I could actually, if I wanted, shoot content out there.
Here's a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Heating, like with overheating and with ventilation in the garage. How's that going to work out?
Well, we're entering the time of year where having everything outside is perfect because, let's say I had, and I'm not going to say the number, but let's just say I had all of the FLM printers going, the Fuck My Life printers. No, FML printer? I don't know, man. Look, the ones that use the filament, y'all, my bed slingers. If I had them all hooked up and running, I've only got one cool plate that I could use, okay? Which means all the others are running at 60 degrees Celsius, and the nozzles are already cooking their temperature too. So the temperature getting too low isn't bad at all. And ventilation, there's still, venting in there, so it does carry out quite well. The trick is going to be the summer. During the summer, that really won't be active because I have no way other than, and no, I didn't think about this already. Potentially, I'd have to get another portable air conditioner for the garage, but I would only be doing that if those machines were making money. Because honestly speaking, they're all the extras. Having the Bamboo Lab A1 in here gives me the functionality I need and the proximity I need.
Now, is the Neptune going in there too? Or in there?
The Neptune's out in the garage already. While I was doing all this, I cleared out space on the other workbench, and I'm like, you're just going to sit here right now because if it's in that kitchen one more day, I'm a doomed man. And so it got on out there. And I printed up all the Wolverine masks I needed to print up. It's nice.
Cool.
It's nice. But anyway, I thought you would at least like to hear about and get a kick out of the fact of me talking about yet another space I won't be making content from.
No, I completely get it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I have the Creality, the K1 Max, and it has a camera built in, and it does time-lapse videos for me.
Mm-hmm.
You would think, like, I do throw stuff on Patreon sometimes because I have one that I do nothing with. And so, like, sometimes I'll remember to actually make content for that, and I'll just throw the videos on there, but I don't do anything with it. I should, but I don't.
We won't get into content creation other than to say that it is one of those things that you also have to be in the mood to do. Or and I've said this 100 times as well, I always get in my own way because there's something I specifically want to shoot. And until I can do that, it kind of holds everything else up. Like this box right here. I have got 2 good videos that I could do. Because for those that don't know, when I was blowing shade at DDL a little bit earlier in the program, I was doing it because the servers, I have lifetime licenses to power the Vector robots for connectivity into the cloud that they require to work, okay? And so I have lifetime licenses because I backed it on Kickstarter. And I have 15 licenses. Their servers haven't worked in almost 2 years now. 2 years. They just started releasing their beta of what their new servers are going to be. But it looks a lot like the exact same software that I can run on this box. It's called WirePod. It's a free server you can run that you can connect your Vector robots to, and then almost all of the voice command functionality still works. You can add in your own and the like. Mm-hmm. And I can do a great video because I have the licenses to connect to DDL's test ones, and I've got the mini server that I could hook. So I could hook one up to one and the other to the other. And we could compare the difference between the two, right? And see which one works better. Thought, oh, that's a great video. The problem is the version of the box that I got a pre-configured one because, why hunt down the technology and everything else if, again, I can yell at somebody. And here's the winning part of my argument. When I hooked it up and I said, hey, is there something I'm doing wrong? This thing's overheating. He's like, no. Actually, there was a bad batch, and there are some that overheat. Let me get your address still this. I'm going to send you the updated one. So that's why I'm not doing it now, because I don't want to hook them up to a server that's going to overheat.
And then catch fire in your house.
That too, even though it's okay. All the smoke detectors are back in. Did I tell you the smoke detector?
Hi, we're going to test these robots out. And then all of a sudden there's a blaze.
It's like the printers that catch fire on The Office in the later seasons.
Or it's like the person who sees a spider in the house and sets their house on fire trying to kill it.
Or, the person that, sees the worm in their sushi. Never mind. It's not anything like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, my whole point is, for me, Now it's a showstopper. It's like I got to think of something else to do, or else I'm just going to fixate on that one idea I can't complete. I don't know why. My brain's broken. Yeah. That's all I can guess. But did I? I just asked you about a debacle and I forgot what the debacle was. Oh, well, never mind. It doesn't matter. Let's not get into it anymore. Let's not get
the debacle. Into it. What do you think?
Because there was something else that happened too. No, it wasn't the sushi thing. It wasn't the Keith Lee thing. But I'm like, did I tell you about? And thankfully, I already forgot about it. Let's move on.
Oh,
we got plenty of show to do, man, and nobody wants to hear about content I'm not making. May as well tell you about other things that aren't here, like my incredible weight loss plan and my luxurious long hair that I can now grow. Neither of those exist either. Doesn't matter. I want to move on, Tony. That's a lot about the stuff that's going on in my life. What's going on in yours? That you want to talk about. Don't feel pressure to.
So if you can't, well, it's over here. If you can't see what's over my head right here, I decided after seeing your setup, because you can see the hexagons behind you, not right now. Now you can. Which ones are those? Are they Govee or are they?
No, these are some basic ass generic ones that I got cheap off of Amazon, and they are not even available anymore. So once these die, they are dead. So, no name brand. And I always forget what name of the app it is that I'm supposed to use, and I always stumble into it because every once in a while, like if the power goes out, they may forget what they were on, and I've got to reset them. Or if I make the mistake of opening that app when I'm trying to fix a different light in the house and accidentally change the light pattern, that's gonna tick me off. Speaking of which, actually, Tony, I want to get your feedback on something if we can real quick. We'll come back to that. But the whole point, well, finish your story. You put in some nice cube lights.
Yeah. So I wish you could see them better, but like,
technically they are hexagon lights. Yeah. I apologize.
Yes. So they're the Govee Hexagon Glide Ultras. These are the most expensive that you can get from the Govee hexagonal, whatever. So there's like, there's the glides, there's the pros, and then there's the ultras.
What kind of humble brag is this? Where are we going with this?
Well, because you know me, I don't pay full price for anything. I got these at a Ben Place on their $15
nice.
Day. So it's a full set of 10 hexagons at $350 for the set. I got it for $15, and there was nothing wrong with it. Except for the box. The box is a little mangled.
Now, let me go back in on you. So, is it just lighting around the outside, or is it also illumination within? Yeah, you're gonna have to kill some lights, aren't you?
There's no, I don't have to.
Well, don't go changing your pattern. Like there you go.
They're absolutely, they're 100%. The lines light up as well as the panels themselves, and so
nice. Yeah, very good. That is one hell of a deal. Which, by the way, guys, if you're thinking about like any type of these creative lighting options that you could put up, one of the things to consider, I hate to say it because I'm already disgusted by the number of Black Friday deals that are already out there, but now is the time to actually be looking at some of these things, either for you to get for yourself or for you to ask people for, so that way they can buy them when they're on sale too. If you've been thinking about having some type of creative illumination, maybe the time. I took advantage of a flash sale this time 2 years ago, and last year I finally got these installed. Not the Butterbot. Get out of here, Butterbot. Nobody wants to hear from you. Go away.
Yeah.
But let me add this media source, because this is what I did to my house. Okay, that sounds dirtier than I meant it. But
there's
I ended up.
Oh no.
No. I ended up getting. Here we go. Hopefully it'll play. I don't know if it will. This is what my house looks like right now, because I got underneath the eaves of the house, I got the Govee lights that have animations. I wanted something really subtle but look like the holidays. So as you can see, I made my house look like a candy cane. So what do you think of those?
I'm going to tell you right now, the Govee lights are amazing, and I would love to have the outside ones. maybe down the road if I can find them at the bin place, but literally they're amazing, and it's a very nice addition to the house. Did you do this before Halloween?
Yeah, these were up during Halloween, at which point I had programmed it just to be like purple and orange in the same way, because it's so easy to do. Plus, there's different themes. Like, for a very brief moment, because you'll notice there are still pumpkins sitting on the entryway, because I'm like, it's still fall! Which, by the way, it looks like it, because we're getting hitting with a bomb cyclone and an atmospheric river that they're describing. But it's my favorite time of year because the first winds have hit at the point where the leaves have turned brown, so they're all starting to like fall. And so it really looks like autumn outside, regardless of my house wishing you a Merry Christmas. So, yeah, I still have the pumpkins out front because to me it's still fall. But up until maybe a night ago, I did this 2 nights ago. Up until then, it was like an ombre that would go between green to an autumn orange. That it was called fall, right? So it was trying to be autumn colors. And I'm like, oh, it's nice. And then my wife came home one day and she's like, I don't know what's going on with the house, but you have to fix it. She's like, I had it because I don't like it. And apparently at some point during the ombre, she's like, is it the Spanish flag? I'm not sure what's going on. So it had to change and I had to program these in. And one night, I'm literally on the phone with my eldest daughter, just having gotten home from somewhere. And I'm just like, oh, so this is how you do that. Boom. And I set it up. It's just that easy with your phone, too. Again, it's not a paid ad, but we are a tech show. And the nice thing about these is that, especially from the angle that I shot, if you guys look at the video on our YouTube channel or over on smodcast.com and the like, these are behind the eaves. So that way it's more the light projecting onto the house. You don't see the bright circles of where lights are coming down. They instead, they look more like an illumination on the house. So I don't want to say it looks more natural, but it at least looks a little more interesting. But that's the cool part.
Listen, I pulled my phone up to do the app, but another cool part about the Govee stuff is it automatically connects to your Echo devices if you're using Echo or Google, whatever it is. We're an Echo home. Do you use Google or Echo?
We're all about the Echo.
Okay. Yeah. So
I'm heavily ingrained in Amazon here. My wire cutting solution is just a Fire Stick, and Echo does control everything. As a matter of fact, if you happen to be at my house, you could ask one of the smart devices to turn on the Holly Jolly, and it turns on everything that is on it that is considered a Christmas light in the house. And all of them, because there's lights on the banisters for the stairs going upstairs, the Christmas tree in the living room, the leg lamp, the nerd tree in the family room, all of the external illumination. My daughter strung up Christmas lights in the upstairs hallway and hung bulbs from them, and the 4-foot tree in my youngest daughter's room. All of those things will light up, and they will also automatically turn off at I think midnight. And on the days that my eldest daughter has to leave early for work, and I'm talking about she leaves between 4 and 4:30, from 4 to 4:30, the hallway, the banisters, and all the downstairs lights will turn on for that half hour where she's supposed to be leaving. So that way she's got lights.
Funny.
Yeah. Well,
That's
you never think about, when I'm programming my smart house, what I'm going to be doing with it. But this is one of the things that I have done is I've automated convenience. She doesn't always go in the kitchen, so that's why the kitchen doesn't turn on. She can do that herself.
So has Echo, the devices, have they made any recommendations for you that you've accidentally agreed to without really thinking? Because every so often I will get a routine that's suggested and I'll always say no, but one time I messed up and said yes. So now what happens is whenever we're washing dishes in the afternoon or evening, or if we're frying something and it hears the rolling of the frying pan, it immediately starts playing music because it thinks we're doing dishes.
I think recently I did have it ask me if I wanted to hear important updates about entertainment news. And I may have accidentally said yes. And within 1 week, I disabled that because I do not care
Yeah.
about whatever Javier Bardem or whoever is doing with what. No, don't be bugging
If
me
I want
right
that,
now.
I'll just go on Facebook and watch, all the stuff that comes out. No, but it's funny because the first time I ever did it was when I was down here and it asked about a routine, and I said yes, not even thinking about what it was saying. And so I was literally in the middle of recording a video, and then all the lights to the basement turned off by themselves.
I used to have the
'Cause
entire office in here set up to where you could say red alert and every smart light would go red. Until my family found out about that, at which point then, when my wife was sick of me being in here, everything would go red. And I'm like, well, time to go.
See, what happens is we had a mouse scare a while back. And so my wife was home alone. I was out with my mom and my kid, and we were out, and I said, hey, watch this. And so I pulled up the device, the app, and I had mousetrap sounds going off throughout the house. And then all of a sudden, like squealing sounds, like mouse squealing sounds. And I immediately got a phone call begging for us to get home as quickly as possible because she was convinced that a bunch of mice had been caught, and she was standing on the couch waiting for me to get home.
Oopsie. See, I think one of the best instances of the smart house being weaponized against me was when I was downstairs listening to music. My wife was upstairs, and she realized I was downstairs listening to music. Probably in the middle of Queen's Don't Stop Me Now, okay? I'm in the kitchen, and I'm having a moment if I'm playing Don't Stop Me Now.
You're having a good time?
Having a good time. Like probably right at the peak of it, right? 100 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. Right then, my friend, Rick Astley cuts in. Never gonna give you up. She rickrolled me. Literally rickrolled me in real life. I can't ever, I have to go to my dying day knowing I can never top that. I can never top that.
Do you have any of the Echo devices in your bathrooms?
No, that's disgusting.
Okay. So listen, I have an elderly mom, and I have a 9-year-old with a heart condition. We have them in the bathrooms because if anything happens, they can call into the house.
Good idea.
Or over the phone, at any time. And they get used a lot, like for different things. When if something happens, like I think, there's a water issue and we had to go fix it. And instead of my mom having to, run out without clothes on, she could just call us on the Echo device. So thank God. And so you have these moments where my wife is showering and she's playing music. And so I just hijack the Echo device and I just pick her soundtrack for the next 20 minutes or however long she's in the shower. And you keep hearing her saying, stop, stop, stop. But I keep playing something that's
just torture. But that's not.
No, it's not.
That's not. Look, man, look. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, that's Bush League. When you compare it against getting rickrolled in real life, that's Bush League, my friend. Okay? Bush League. You can't, you got nothing. You got nothing if that's the deck you're playing with. You may as well fold and get out of Vegas. That's what I'm telling you right now. Bush League. Torturous. Rickrolling. Genius. 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 Up your game. So I'm telling you right now, Tony, you gotta your assignment now is to come up with something better than when somebody is listening to music, rickrolling them in real life. I don't know what these marching orders even mean, but
I don't do.
I think there's gonna be consequences. That's what I think it sounds. I don't know what that guy is talking about, but I think there's going to be consequences. I'm catching from his tone. If this doesn't get done, there might be consequences. I'm just saying. I don't know what he's even talking about. I don't know what his problem is. I don't know why he's so fixated on Rick Astley. I mean, come on now. But I think they're going to become. I'm just saying, you may want to listen. I can't control him. I can't control him. All right.
Okay.
All right. Very good. Hey, most importantly, though, Tony, since we do purport to be a technology podcast, I want to make sure everyone is aware. If you are an iOS user, see, man, I'm just trying to talk, and I'm like, if you are, and it thinks I say emo, and it's back there going, what? And I'm all distracted. I don't know if you hear the what's, because after I do my audio wizardry on this thing, there's a lot of good background noise that's just gone. Because again, the vector robots, they'll get caught. They were around. I don't know why they've got the loudest gears of any piece of machinery around here. But my God, it sounds like plastic humping plastic when they move.
Which
it's
it pretty
disgusting.
much is.
Oh, it's murderous. I tell you, Tony, it drives me insane. Anyway, if you are a person that has an Apple mobile device of some kind, whether it's, I don't know if the iPad has a separate iOS, but if you are on iOS, there are 2 0-day vulnerabilities that were discovered in the last update. So you want to update your iPhone with the 2 recommended updates right now that are available, which I think is a patch on 18.1.1 and it takes you up to 18.1.2, I think. I'm not sure to be exact, but it's something that I think everyone should be aware of, because you don't want your phone to get exploited. You don't want your data to get lost. You don't want to compromise your phone. If it's a 0-day issue, then they're not messing around. Okay, they view it as severe, so make sure you get that updated. Is yours patched, Tony? I saw you looking.
No, I'm looking. So mine's updating right now from 18.1.1. So
yeah, see, so make sure you do that 0-day vulnerability. I don't know. Also, Tony, if in the digital suppression you may have been living in, if you were aware of a fact that we got a trailer for How to Train Your Dragon, the live action rendition.
I absolutely know about that.
Let me tell you something. When we heard about a Lego movie, right? I crapped all over that idea. I'm like, what is this absurdity? But you got to remember, I came up through the original Super Mario Brothers movie. Okay. So game adaptions can hurt. All right. Some of the Street Fighter,
I remember.
good. Some of the Street Fighter, not so good. Oh no, I'm thinking about, what was the other one? Mortal Kombat was good. Street Fight, Raul Julia. Look, man. Video game
everything but
adaptations
Baraka on that movie was great. Everything, like, let's face it, that was the worst part of the whole thing.
Video game adaptions can hurt. All right, they can be painful. So when I see something going live action, I have concerns. Video game, now Lego is a game, and now we're talking about turning CGI projects into live action projects. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I had that Lego feeling. And now that I see what they're doing, which is literally in a way paying tribute to the original, because it was a trailer that looked exactly like the first film. I wouldn't doubt if it was
the creator for the original film came back to do this one.
Right.
And he was like, it's like he wanted to revisit this world, and this was the best way to do it. And I'm sorry. I don't care if the movie's crap or not. Toothless looks beautiful, and I want anything that's associated with him in any type of promotional stuff, because I was a huge How to Train Your Dragon fan.
They really did pull it off. They did an excellent job of making that artistic model that we saw with that particular animation style in the movie and converting it into real life. I did not have Uncanny Valley at all. Totally blew me away. I was super excited to see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad you heard about that.
I am going to complain about the casting a little bit here.
Okay.
They did so well with the casting, but how am I to expect that Hiccup actually looks as good as he does in the first film?
Look, man.
Like, he's supposed to be a nerdy, scrawny guy, and you make him look that good. Like, the guy looks like How to Train Your Dragon 2 Hiccup. Like, come on.
They got to give the girls a reason to come in, Tony. You realize that, right? Because they're like, we want to get kids, we want to get nostalgic ladies. So,
Listen, the
and not to
ladies
mention,
were
I'm sure
coming
you
for
compare them against the
Toothless.
Vikings. No, they weren't. I
They
don't
were
even
coming for Toothless.
I don't even
Yes,
want
they
to
were.
read into that.
They were.
It's,
They
you
were.
know,
They were.
the
They were lining up.
implications are a little concerning. I'm just saying. Look, all I'm saying is I was amazed they pulled it off. What's funny though, when you look at the way marketing plays out and the little games that happen, because at the same time we get the How to Train Your Dragon real life live action movie. It just so happens right around that time, set pics leak about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Maui in the live adaptation of Moana. I'm just like, yeah, I'm sure they leaked that nobody planned on like, hey, let's make sure we shoot this thing out in a very open and uncontrolled area.
And of course, Dwayne Johnson's going to say you're welcome when no one said thank you.
Get out right now. Just that's it. Get out. I will not stand for this anymore.
Let's wind back a little bit. At the same time that the How to Train Your Dragon trailer and all that stuff came out, there's also reportedly How to Train Your Dragon sets coming out on Lego, with Lego like next year.
Man, that's just the snake eating its own tail. I tell you right now. The other thing I'm curious to hear if you had heard about was this little tidbit that we got from Attractions Magazine. They posted about this. So apparently the Disney Treasure is the new Disney cruise ship, right? And in it has several sections and themes, and one of them is the world of Marvel. And during dinner, I'm not going to play the clip because it's somebody else's content, but I'm going to tell you about it. It was this scene where you had America Chavez, Cassie Lang, and Riri Williams, and what's the name of the AI that Tony uses to replace Jarvis with?
Friday.
Friday is just saying, here they are celebrating their latest like achievement or victory or something along those lines, implying they were on a mission together. Right? So is this them soft launching a good, solid, bigger hint of the Young Avengers?
Well, I want to say yes, but at the same time, let me be very clear. This is not the first time that they've done something like this with actual actors. When the Disney Wish came out, they had an entire thing with the Pym Kitchen where you had Miss Marvel working with Captain America and Captain Marvel, and it implied the fact that Kamala Khan knew, or at least was like unofficially part of the Avengers, and it has no bearing on the MCU as a whole. So this I would consider as like MCU adjacent, though it is wishful thinking that they are thinking in that manner of let's get these young guys
what you're saying,
together.
what you're saying is this is just strictly Avengers campus universe. And what I mean by that is that there is a distinction that has been made. It's in a description somewhere. I can't remember where Avengers Campus isn't the MCU universe, because that's why you can have old Captain America. You can have, meaning Steve Rogers. You can have
Iron Man.
Yeah, you can have Iron Man and the like. You know what I mean? So there's the Avengers Campus universe, if you will. So, yeah, I think that's probably accurate. But it's nice to actually see at least 2 out of these 3 characters again, because it's been a damn minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like Cosmic Rewind, or was it Mission Breakout or whatever it is. They're with the actual characters. They're doing something different. Let's face it. What was it? Operation or Cosmic Rewind has got Tiamat. It's got like a Resham, I think it is. It's got the Celestial. Before we got Eternals, you have them battling the Celestial for something that has nothing to do with anything that's going to be with the Eternals movie, and it exists within its own self with with Glenn Close and Terry Banks and stuff, which is fine. But you've got like these things that happen, and as much as we want them to be, it's more in the realm of this is for this attraction, and wishful thinking in the future.
Fair enough. I'll take it. I thought it was
I feel
neat.
like a
But
killjoy.
no, it's fine. Actually, my favorite thing about this was just the complete non sequitur, uninformed way I found out about this. I'm scrolling through TikTok of all things, and I see just a clip of the video of them just sitting there, and then in that announcement, and then America Chavez says, like, so, anyone up for shuffleboard? And I'm like, what the hell is this? And every time it popped up, the description and everything else was not informative enough to tell me what I was looking at. I actually had to do a search in order to look this up and then find out what exactly I was seeing and why.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I completely understand that.
It's like, what the hell is going on here? Man, that's the scary thing about social media, the amount of non sequitur crap that will end up just taking you down roads you are completely unaware. Like, let me tell you something. I don't know. I guess maybe it was because, and I'm gonna go into a little something here, and then we're gonna wrap up. We both prepared tech tidings. You know what? Both of us are liars. It doesn't matter. Although one of them is interesting, I think, because the Meta Quest 3 is going to have an update where it can automatically pair with Windows 11 computers, so that way you could be wearing your Meta Quest 3 and you could set up virtual workspaces. So you could have like 3 multiple monitors in front of you that are based off of that Windows 11 PC.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that before, but if it sounds like it's going to be like a more natural connection.
Yes, it's going to be a natural pairing and connection.
That's cool. Now, the thing I was going to pull up as one of the cool things is actually PlayStation did what they did a while back with their PlayStation 3, where they upgraded their technology without everybody knowing that they were going to do that. And if anybody bought a PlayStation Portal and was very disappointed in it, which if you don't know what a Portal is, it's a remote device that connects to your PS5 for you to play your PS5 games, like through your Wi-Fi. And a lot of people were like, this is not really that great. Some people really enjoyed it. But now with an update, you can play PS5 games without a PS5 if you have the PlayStation Direct cloud streaming. So you can basically stream PS5 games directly to the portal without ever having to have a PS5.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have, as long as you can stream, you've got availability and playability.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, there you go. Especially for the people that bought this and like, it sucked. And now they're fishing it out of some drawer or trying to charge it up.
They're wishing they didn't sell at the garage sale.
Exactly. Mom, where is it? No, I didn't tell you to put it in that box. Anyway.
You said it was trash.
I know I didn't. That reminds me, I have no idea whatever happened to my Nintendo Power Glove. Oh, well. Look. I saw it in the background of somebody's video recently. Like, that's a Power Glove. Oh, it was actually on Saturday Night Live. What the hell was I about to go off about? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Some stupid shit anyway. That's undoubtedly what it all is in the long run.
You were going to wrap up with something. We were talking about the tech tidings that we weren't going to do, and then we ended up talking about them.
Oh, yeah, and then I was about to rant about some stupid thing. It was a stupid rant. Doesn't matter. It's time to wrap this thing up. We're done, man. I can't do this anymore, Tony. You made me make the admission of the Butterbot. You drove me to that. You're unwilling to do the homework. I don't know what to do with you anymore. I don't know.
It's okay.
Awesome, man. No, seriously, I just keep...
No, yeah.
I think I had a crappy night. You know how there are times, okay? And this is the great thing about marriage. There are times where you realize, you know what? After that meal, I'm not feeling so good. And it's the adult choice and respect for your partner. If you already don't have separate beds, which honest to God, I really think we should all go back to. But during those times, having the ability to just make that admission, you know what, I'm going to be uncomfortable and it's going to be a bad night. I'm going to go sleep somewhere else. And I did. And the whole point is, I'm not trying to tell you about my gastrointestinal distress because nobody wants to hear that. I'm just trying to say that I anticipated not having a good night's sleep, and that's what I got. And I just keep forgetting the goddamn things I'm trying to talk about. That means it's time to pull the ripcord. It's time to hit the evac button. Somebody hit the ejector seat. We're done. If I can't recall things, I'm just going to sit here and ramble and babble, and we're going to lose every watcher,
If
every
only
viewer we
had
have.
show notes.
We do, but I was going off on something else that was going to be stupid. I mean, it was like, literally, there are show notes, but I'm telling you right now, I don't remember. It's not related to anything you see there. It's not. There, whatever it wasn't related to that. All I know is I got shelves to hang this weekend. That's what I'll be doing. Thank you very much for tuning in for this, once again, wonderful experimentation in just how long you can keep a podcast on life support. Until next time, guys, please remember, take care of yourselves, be well, because you're the only you've got. My name's Will.
And I'm Tony.
And we will be back. You know what I love? It's a tech podcast, Tony. It's a tech podcast. We know what we're doing, right? We've got it all ironed out. The entire end of the episode isn't on there. I mean, we hear it, but it's not here, and I don't know why. So again, folks, remember, check your OBS settings. Oh, also, don't be like Tony and like near a day where your friend might ask you to guest on a podcast and say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rip apart my entire computer. I'm sure that will play out just fine. How stressed were you trying to reassemble everything?
Pretty stressed. And then I was trying to make sure that this looked okay, because this was a blank wall, other than the hexagons on it, because I had just taken everything apart.
Well, I got to tell you, man, that is definitely an impressive recovery. So good job.
Well, thank you.
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.